Hiya, my name's Charlie and welcome to my channel, and today's video, as you can tell from the title, it's all about Charlie. It's happy birthday, it's the Charlie birthday book tag. This is a book tag that I myself have created. It's made by a Charlie for a Charlie. It's his birthday, so it's Charlie's birthday, Charlie's 30th birthday today, so I know this is going to really embarrass you, Charlie, I'm so sorry, but I've designed this tag so that we can to sort of make you smile, hopefully make you feel a little bit loved, and all of that stuff. So I know Charlie today is going to be doing his putting out his Q&A video answers on his channel, so I will link that in the description down below when that pops up. But yeah, happy birthday, Charlie! I know I'm going to be FaceTiming you today anyway, and all that stuff, but so I'm excited to talk to you. But I hope that I've somehow surprised you with this tag. So it's all about you, Charlie. Before I get into the tag questions, I just wanted to say thank you, Charlie, for being such an amazing friend. Like, Charlie is like one of my best friends, and he's just always so funny. He's just the most loveliest guy. I'm sorry to tell everyone the truth, Charlie, but it's true, you are. And we chat every single day, and he's just brilliant. So yeah, as you can tell, we just always laugh a lot, as you can tell from our videos that you've would have seen of us, which I'll link in the description below. So anyway, I'm going to dive right into the questions. Thank you, Charlie, for being brilliant, and I hope you have enjoy all the questions and stuff. So yeah, and I hope you're not too embarrassed. Well, a little bit. Right, the first question is, Charlie is the name of the game. What is your favourite book by either a Charles or a Charlie, or featuring a Charles or a Charlie? And so for my answer for this is going to be, my answer to this question is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. This is obviously the tale of rags to riches kind of story of David Copperfield. It's quite self-explanatory. For some reason I don't have a physical copy of this book. I think I had a second-hand copy and obviously wanted to upgrade it, so that's why I don't have a physical copy, but it's one that I completely adore. You follow it, obviously David growing up and his life, and yeah, it's just such a wonderfully written book. And actually I need to read more Dickens. That is one thing I do need to do. I know Charlie's read loads of Dickens, so yeah. Oh, Doris, a book that you have, which is obviously Charlie's book. Links will be in the description below for various altitudes and places to order all of Charlie's books. And Royally Doris is coming out in September, so I'll put the links for pre-ordering Charlie's books as below as well. So Our Doris is a book that you've loved, featuring a protagonist over 50. And my answer for this, I'm so hot, I'm so sorry, is Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. And this is one I read for the Women's Prize last year. It wasn't the winner, but I think it has since won another book prize, which obviously I'll maybe put on screen. So we follow these siblings who have recently lost their mother, and they've having to try and survive without her and learn how to sort of live and try and sort of get some sort of money when they've never had to worry about all these things before. So yeah, it's just a beautifully written book, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah, that is my answer for that one. Next, question number 3 is an Heir To Murder, another one of Charlie's books, is a favourite crime or mystery book. So my answer for this one I'm going to have is I'm going to go for Sherlock. So The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, obviously by Arthur Conan Doyle. It looks like it's kind of rubbed off. These editions, they always sort of, the bits rub off, but yeah. I love this is like a short story collection, obviously. So I've got some of the Arthur Conan Doyle's other previous mysteries on there, which I love, but I love these short stories these short stories the most, and I always feel quite swept away in them. Also, I love a bit of Christie, so I probably could have put one of Christie's answers for this. I love a Murder on the Orient Express. That's another one of my favourites, so maybe I could say that as one of my answers. I don't know. Chocolat, a book by one of your favourite authors. So for this, I have gone with, I've got 2 answers, so I'm cheating. I'll probably cheat for a few of these. That's what I'm like. I've got Flames by Robbie Arnott. I bang on about this quite a lot. This is one of my favourite books. I've reread this quite a lot of times, and I meant to reread this year, but I haven't got round to it, which is naughty. In this book we follow Levi McAllister, and his sister Charlotte. Basically Levi's their mother's just passed away, and in this book the character that in Levi's family, once the females of the family die, they come back as these like creature like things, like I'm not very good at describing it, but yes, so he in order to sort of like ease the worry of his sister, so that in case when he builds a coffin for her so that she doesn't need to worry about dying and bursting into flames and turning into one of these creatures. This is obviously the name of the flames. And so so she runs away, and then he's sort of goes on a quest to sort of follow her around the island, and it's sort of interconnecting sort of like little like, can you say stories? Yeah, and it's just so gorgeous, and it's one of my favourite books of all time, obviously. Yeah. I've obviously only read 2 books by Robbie Arnott because that's all he's got currently out, so some of you might think that that means he can't be a favourite author. So in terms of authors I've read multiple books from that is my favourite, I would say I'd say Daphne du Maurier is probably one of my favourite authors. I've read a few of hers, and this is one that doesn't get a whole lot of talked about. It's Frenchman's Creek. In this one we follow Lady Duna, and she's basically left her husband, and she's gone to this like cottage set in the countryside, and she meets like a ship's captain kind of thing. Yeah, and she meets this like ship's captain. It's kind of like their relationship and then what happens with them, and then obviously the consequences of her affair and things like that. So it's really, really good, and definitely du Maurier. I haven't read this one for a little while, but I love Daphne du Maurier's writing, so yeah, that's why I'm mentioning Daphne du Maurier. I'm not having a meeting. The next prompt is, reading is fundamental. A book that you should think that everyone should read. I've got 2 books again. I've got Feminism Interrupted, which is my favourite book of the year so far. If you want to hear me talk about it, I've mentioned it in my previous video, which is the best books of the year so far. It's non-fiction. I'm talking about feminism, and it's talking about it in a really inclusive and diverse way, and I just adore this book, and I definitely think that everyone should read it. It's not very long, it's less than 200 pages, and it's just brilliant. Next book I want to talk about is another one of the ones that I think that everyone should read, which is a bigger book, so it's a bit more of a time commitment, but I still think it's like worth it, is The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson, and this is basically telling the story of the Great Migration of all these, so it's set in the 1915 to 1970, and it's this epic migration of black people across America, and it tells their stories in like such like a narrative sort of, it sort of sound, we hear about multiple different families, and it's told in a way that almost sounds like fiction. Obviously it's not, but yeah, it recounts these lives and brings all these people really to life, and it's just so gorgeous, and obviously it's very hard hitting as well. But I listened to the audiobook, which is quite long. I think it's nearly 30 hours or something like that. I'll put it on screen how many hours it is, but it's definitely worth every single minute of it if you are interested in learning more about this topic. But yeah, it's just brilliant, so that is why it's my answer. And again, it's another one that I don't think that many people have read, and I think more people should read, so that is why I'm talking about it. The next question is, The TARDIS, a book you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself to stay away from. So the answer for this is one that me and Charlie read together, which is The Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelsohn. This is one that was longlisted for the Women's Prize, and me and Charlie actively despised this book. Yeah, we follow Ray. So we meet the Hanrahan family, and Ray and his wife Lucia, and Lucia. So Ray's was an artist, and his career has basically failed. Ray is this super unlikable character, and Lucia is his wife, and her career is taking off whilst obviously Ray's career is on the down, and so we follow their family as they're obviously trying to put on an exhibition. So it's kind of like obviously as the title would suggest. But the thing is with this book is like the character of Ray is just so and then also his daughter Leah was just really unlikable as well. And I at the beginning of this, I think me and Charlie were messaging and being like, oh yeah, this is unlikable characters, but we were like, this is, you know, this is, it's going to be done in a good way, this is going to be good. So we were really trying to be positive about this book, but it went downhill so fast. It's just so, it just was not for us at all. It wasn't a book for us at all, and the ending didn't really have a really good payoff in my opinion. So I just do not recommend this book at all, and if I could turn back the clock and tell myself to avoid this book, I definitely would have done. So that is my salty answer for that, because we had to have a salty question, because, you know, us Charlies, we can be salty, so yeah. That is that. The next question on the Charlie book tag is Victoria Wood, a book that made you laugh. And for my answer for this one, apart from obviously Charlie's books, which, if you haven't read Charlie's books, this is the whole point of this, Charlie's books are really funny because it's got Charlie's humour in it, so obviously they're funny, even though the most recent one made me cry as well as laugh, but yeah. So no, the book, my answer for this is Wow No Thank You by Samantha Irby, which is a non-fiction I listened to on audiobook a few years ago. It's one of her memoirs. I think this isn't the first one. I think this was like one of her most recent ones, even though I don't know whether she's got any more out since then, being honest. But Samantha Irby is a comedian, I believe, and she's just so funny. Like how when she's talking about really serious things to do with her health and other things, and she just does it. How she narrates it in particular, because the audiobook is narrated by her. Yeah, there were parts of it that I genuinely laughed out loud, and I just think it was really good. Other answer for this, I can't remember if I actually laughed out loud in this, but it's got characters that are kind of comical, particularly in the TV show, which is Good Omens. Oh, I've got my pen down. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Yeah, the characters in this are quite amusing, and I did, like, particularly in the show, which I haven't reread the book for a while, but yeah, the book isn't as good as the show, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, this is funny. This was, like, in places this was funny. So yeah, this is another potential answer for it. I'm gonna have like 2 answers for every blooming question. Right, the next question is, So Sally, a book featuring your favourite pet / animal. And so I've got I'm gonna have 2 answers for this one. I've got a book featuring a cat, which, because I love cats, my mum's cat in particular. She's got 2 cats, Basil and Calypso, who I absolutely adore. I'll put pictures of some of them on screen. Not some of them. I'll put some pictures of them on screen. My answer for this one is The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Irakawa and translated by Philip Gabriel. And we follow Nana the cat, and she's on a road trip basically, but she's not sure where she's going, and she gets brought in by Satoru, who takes care of her and looks after her, but obviously adventures happen, and there is grief in this book, but like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. It's so wonderful. My mum read it and loved it. I read it and loved it. It's gorgeous. And another answer I'm going to give for this book, this one is, because I always give 2 answers because that's what I'm like, is I wanted to have one with chickens. And this is The Chicken Chronicles by Alice Walker, and it's her experience of raising chickens and stuff. And I just love this book. This is her memoir, and the chickens in this book are just really, the characters are obviously just really wonderful. And yeah, again, this is not a book that I hear talked about quite a lot, but it's just really fun, and it shows the personalities of the chickens and stuff like that. And for those of you who don't know, like, it's my dream to one day own chickens. This is my dream. Richard, if you're listening, I want to own chickens. So yeah, that's another one of my answers. Right, uno libro ci amo ancora, or I'm going to put, like my neighbour spoken, I'm going to put his like thing on screen.
Ho tradotto il libro che amo leggere.
And it's either a favourite translated book or a translated book you want to read. So I have gone for a favourite translated book, and this is The Eighth Life by Nino Haratashvili, and this is translated, I think there's 2 translators in this book, because obviously it's quite a big book. Let me. It was translated by Charlotte Collins and Ruth Martin. Yeah, they split the translation, obviously, because it's such a chunky book. I can't remember how I've watched a video by Eric Carl Anderson, who interviewed the authors, which I'll put actually a link in the description for this. He did a wonderful interview talking to them and about this book, and it's just, if you actually have read this book, it's well worth watching that interview. This book is gorgeous. It has so much heart. It features one of my most favourite characters in books, Kitty, who I just adore. I just love Kitty. And yeah, this is my answer for this question. And this is a book that I know Charlie read and loved as well. So bonus points for that. Right. Last question, last but not leasty, the questions on this list I've got is Age UK, a charity shop book bargain you adored. And so for this, I have picked The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I can't remember which charity shop I got it from. I think it's the one that Emily works in, Sebastian's Books, in our local town. And I think every single person would have heard about this one. So Diane Setterfield writes just such gorgeous narratives, and there's a quote from this which if I can find it, I'll put it on screen, and it is one of my favourite bookish quotes ever. I'll put that on screen. And this is like, so in this book we follow Vida Winter, who is a famous author, and she gets someone to come in and write her biography, and obviously so we hear all the stories of her growing up, and yeah, and sort of the twists and turns of all of that. And it's a really wonderful book, and it's one I've been meaning to reread as well. So yeah, that is why it's my answer for this one. And that is all the questions. I just wanted to say an extra thank you to some people as well. A special mention to Leo from A Little Book Life. I'll link his channel down below. I don't know whether he's planning on uploading, but I'll link Leo's Instagram. That's what I'll do. I'll link Leo's Instagram below, because I know he's going to be doing the this tags. So when I came, I talked to Charlie every single day, so trying to keep this a secret was really, really difficult, and I needed to try to have someone to bounce off and to double check all the questions for me. So I messaged Leo from A Little Book Life, like I said, and he was really, really supportive and very sweet with me about it. So I wanted to give Leo an extra special thank you, as well as all the lovely people that I know that have filmed this video as well to help surprise you, Charlie. I hope that you have enjoyed this tag, especially for you, and that you enjoy watching everyone's videos when you get time to do so. Yeah, I hope you have the best day, Charlie, and I can't wait to talk to you later. And yeah, I hope that you're not too mad at me as well. So I'm sorry, Charlie, for keeping this a secret and etc. But yeah, I hope it's made you smile a little bit. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's made the videos. If you yourself want to participate in making your own version of this tag, please do, and tag me in it, and so I can watch it. I'll make a playlist below of anyone else's videos once they're made. Thank you so much if you have made your own version of it. I really, really appreciate you. And yeah, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know any of your answers to any of these questions below in the comments below. If you and don't forget to go and send all the birthday love to Charlie on Charlie's channel, or you can feel free to say happy birthday to Charlie in the comments below, because I'm sure he'll probably read this as well. So yeah, yeah. Take care, sending you guys lots of love. Goodbye.